Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Underhood Show, presented by Melham Ford. My name's Phil Nightingale. Morning, Josh.
Good morning.
Beautiful Saturday morning out there today.
Yes, it is.
Is it 70?
It is sunny and 70 somewhere, I assure you of that.
Okay. It's supposed to get pretty hot today, too, I guess. So, hey, anyway, it's a call-in show, 316-462-3673. Anything ailing in your car, tires, brakes, batteries, whatever it might be, anything in the automobile world, I don't care. We can get the phones ringing. Josh might have a few tricks up his sleeve, too, today from that part. But each and every caller calling in gets a great price package by over $205. Kind of crazy, isn't it?
It is.
Just to make a phone call.
Yeah, it is.
And again, anything about your cars, anything in the automobile world here. As always, Josh, what's in that package, buddy?
So we'll mail it out to you, but it's going to consist of the works, which is an oil change and tire rotation. We use Motorcraft oil and filter products here at Mel Hamilton Ford. While we're doing that, we're going to complete a multi-point inspection on your vehicle, checking over the brakes, tires, steering, suspension, all the safety-related components on that vehicle. Just making sure that it's ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving. You'll get yourself $10 to Mel's Diner, so you can get yourself something to eat and drink while you're here with us at the Big Corner. Complete nitrogen for your tires, so you get all the great benefits that nitrogen has to offer. And then a BG products package, which consists of a can of MOA or motor oil additive for your engine oil, and then 44K for your fuel system. Again, just getting that car geared up and ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving.
All right, let's get the phones ringing, 316-462-3673. That comes right to the front desk. Tell the girls you're going to pass in the podcast, and if we're paying attention to the phone, we might get you in.
Just like that, right?
Just like that, because I've let a couple people hang on there, Josh, a couple times. Not on purpose, but I did.
Totally accident.
Yeah.
I will say, it's been between your schedule and my schedule.
This is the first time you and I have been on here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Several weeks.
I was looking at the banners and I don't know, how do we already even find that one at? So, but yes, it is been a little while since we've been together. I've got a couple of topics this morning that I wanted to go over. I'm sure you do as well. Had the privilege yesterday of bringing a class full of potential automotive students through the Hutchinson Community College. Came over, and there was probably 35, I would say, roughly, young men and women that looking at potentially going into some sort of automotive industry trade. There was some collision in people that were interested in the collision side of things, and then also the mechanical side of things. But I got to give them a tour yesterday of the facility, and it's always enjoyed doing that. In my opinion, and just seeing, have been here a long time. We've obviously brought on a lot of people, and really in any industry at all. I don't care what industry it is, but I hate to see people waste time, effort, money into something that they then later find out it's really not what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Because
that too.
Because this is not for everybody, and just like any other type of career path, you really need to know that that's what you want to do before you go through and invest money in education and tools and equipment and stuff. And I can tell you countless times where I've seen people get into it thinking that's what they want to do after having been to a college of some sort or a trade school of some sort and purchased a bunch of tools, and then just find out that it's just really not a fit for them.
Well, Josh, and I'll go the other side of that coin for a minute too. The school counselors think that after high school, the only thing that's out there for the students to succeed is a 4-year college or a 2-year college. The trade schools have been put on the back burner for years. And that's why I don't care if it's the automobile, the body shop, the carpenter, the electronics, the HVAC. The trade world is hurting for people in all different places from that part. Okay. Several years ago, a long time ago, I had the president of Wichita Area Tech School we got together and we were talking about different things. And he says, give me 2 years of your time and $10,000 and I'll have you a trade school. Coming out making $40,000, $50,000. Now go to a 4-year college and you're going to spend anywhere from 50 to 100, walking out spending maybe 30 to 40. But I'm seeing so many students now that think they've got to go to that 4-year college and to be able to be successful, but then finding out, guess what? This isn't what I want to do.
Sure.
And changed their mind and came back and went into a trade school or done something different from that part. Or go to that 4-year college and go all the way through there and get their major and can't find a job in in their major area. So they've
Well,
got to
and
change.
and again, going into it, paying X number of dollars for the schooling side of things, but then only making Y at the end of the deal, and it's just like the math don't math really.
Yeah,
In
it doesn't.
that
So
sense.
there's sides of this. I'm sure I can get in front of a bunch of school counselors and argue back and forth which way is better and best. But it's what's good for the student. It can't be that every student has to go to a 4-year college from from that standpoint. I mean, I didn't. I went to a VOTEC school. Okay.
Yeah.
And I love talking to those kids yesterday, telling them, explaining my story, kind of what I went through, your story, Kelly's story,
Sure.
and everything else too. But the idea of doing that, but this is a good program for them to see if they even think they might like it. But it was good to see that amount of students. But again, I was surprised too. They weren't just from the Hutchinson area.
Yeah.
I mean, even though this is the Hutchinson VOTEC school, they're at a Hutchinson Community College. There were students from here, Hayesville, Derby, all over, and then also out in Western Kansas stuff that came in to see this program from that part. So a great time with those kids. Glad they were here and see a shop this size and see what really goes on and stuff like that too. So hope we can help them down the road more.
Yeah, a lot of things that we talk about is or when I get in front of a class like that is looking for differences, right? So you may see a ad or on Indeed or something along those lines, and for the most part everybody's knee-jerk reaction is, well, what's it going to pay, right? But trying to convince somebody with such a young mind or not really know what to work excuse me, what to look at, and so as we tour the facilities, I try to bring up points of is the organization clean? Do they are the tools and equipment, is it up to date and modern, or is it shoved off in a corner? The type of environment that you're going to be working in, it's so much more than just an hourly wage. Is there work? You could go somewhere and in this industry and just try to help them identify potentially some of the black eyes, so to speak, that there are places out there that give this industry. And I wish everybody was the same and it was fair across the board, but it's not.
No,
and it's helping them to try and identify some of those things coming into this career.
Yeah, you talk about the black eye, which it's always the 2% that makes the rest of the people look bad and stuff
Sure.
too. But I mean, I can go through all different, even though it's automobile technicians, you can go to the attorneys, you can go all over where there's jokes and things and black eyes and all that kind of stuff too. But you're right, you got to go find it. And I told him yesterday when I talked to him about it, is I went into the aftermarket world for 1 year and realized I couldn't get the training, wasn't going to get any training to get myself in, because that's when I was young and moving up in my career, and I wanted to get better, and I knew that that VOTEC school that I went through at Salina got me the basics. It isn't going to get me any further, so I had to get back into it. But again, the next store that I went to was a terrible dealership. Wouldn't train me there either. Wouldn't pay me. So there's good dealerships and bad dealerships, and there's good independent garages. I get it. Everybody survives on how well they're taking care of it. Their store, like you said, how their tools are and all that kind of stuff. But I feel sorry for the aftermarket world, how you would keep up with that training, technology, and then having to work on all and be different brands in that to try to get training for that. And I mean, it's just hard. But again, you find the right store, the right thing that's there to back you, the right dealerships got, like you said, all the different tools, all the stuff makes a difference.
Yeah, on the training on the aftermarket side of it, I mean, you see a lot of specific, branded parts will offer training like an O'Reilly's or AutoZone or whatever. But honestly, those training courses are really just to sell their parts specifically,
Well,
in those situations, and the wide array of things that you would need training on, like it's just not there.
I remember, and I said this in a Ford training class we had a couple weeks ago over in the warehouse with the guys that came in there. We brought in a Ford trainer and stuff. And I remember my very first one of those I got to go to. I was still in high school and I was working at Halstead Auto Supply, and Don Davison was running it. I was working for him in the morning and working for my dad in the afternoons. And he sent me to a champion class, and I'm thinking, okay, what am I going to learn? What am I going to find out? All that kind of stuff. And all it was is Champion had come out with what they called the copper plug, and they had the same part, and everybody just put a C beside it for copper. So they were trying to sell us on how great this copper plug was going to be. Well, it didn't last, of course, from that part. But I remember driving I think I went to Topeka, So I drove all the way to Topeka, spent that day up there, drove all the way back, and I'm coming back thinking, I don't learn a damn thing. Nothing.
I know they have a copper plug now.
Yeah, and an advantage is what they thought was going to be the right thing for copper. Guess what? There ain't no copper plugs no more.
Yeah.
Wasn't any copper plugs very long either from that part. So I kind of knew that too. But again, I just had to find the right dealership, and that's when I went to Topeka and got the right store that had the tools, had work, and would pay me.
Yeah.
From that part. So anyway, hey, we got a caller coming
Yeah,
in.
I'll get him, sent
Get
through
Grant
here.
pushed in here in a minute. Good morning, Anna Burt. Sorry it took so long to get to you. Thank you for that. Best place to buy a vehicle. Agree with you that too, 100%. So Bill Lindsay says, good morning, guys. The SCK MC 34th Annual Mustang and All Ford Show today at Sedgwick County Park. So go out and check out the hot rods at Sedgwick County Park from that part. So, okay, while we're waiting for Grant to get in here.
Get him patched through as well. So, and then what racing wise, where here we go. We've got Grant. Let's go to the phones and talk to Grant. Grant, you're on live with Under the Hood. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Very
Perfect.
Good. I had a question because you guys were talking about how reliable you guys are, especially with fixing things. I have an 07 Focus, and I've gotten the tires realigned and I've gotten them rebalanced. However, it feels like it is nonstop bouncing, and I've looked for any toe and any cutting on the tire, and there doesn't appear to be anything. And talked to one guy, he said it might be my bushings or the axle itself, and I don't know what it is. Do you guys have any thoughts?
So when you say it's bouncing, like, are you talking about, I guess, what's the driving conditions like to make it do this? So is it under acceleration? Is it cruising down the highway speeds, over bumps? Like what, a little more description on it.
So during acceleration from 30 to 45, and then acceleration and maintaining speed from 65 all the way up to 80.
Gotcha. And is it more intense on one of those speeds versus the other?
Yes, the higher in speed, the worse it gets.
Yeah.
However, once you go past 80, it stops.
Yeah. So what you essentially what's going on, there's a first order vibration and a second order vibration. So it's got to be specifically at that rotation speed. And then when it doubles, then it will do it again. Obviously, and you're feeling it more intense, but I mean, I'm thinking of a lot of different things with, you're saying that it won't do it at those speeds if you're coasting. It's specifically under acceleration or cruising or maintaining a speed.
When I'm coasting, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
When I'm cruising at 65 to 80, it happens, but not when I'm at a lower, not when I'm at 35 miles an hour.
Yeah. So again, to start out with, I mean, first and foremost, we'll throw a diagnostic onto your package so we can look at that thing and figure out what's going on. I would suspect there's probably something going on with a CV axle. The other thing I was thinking of is potentially like a strut itself causing the issue. A separated tire is another thing that could be doing it. I think you said you put tires on it for this, or you had those tires balanced to try to remedy it.
Well, I got brand new tires not even 2 months ago, and they didn't balance them correctly to start with. So I had them rebalanced and realigned.
Was it, were you experiencing this before?
No.
So not previous
You got a tire
to the new
problem,
tires.
what you got.
Yeah, if there might be a separated tire or something going on.
Or they still haven't got them balanced right.
Yeah.
Or we've got a load force issue on one of those tires.
Yeah. Yeah. How long has this been happening?
Ever since I've gotten it redone. So ever since 2 months ago.
Yeah. Well, happy to take a look at it, but I mean, if it happened pretty close to the time of putting the tires on or rebalancing the tires. If something's out of balance, obviously that certainly could be the issue too. But we'll throw a diagnostic onto your package to take a look at that thing for you and let you know what's going on with it.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.
You too,
buddy.
Thank
We'll
you.
get you fixed up. Anyway, I promise you, Josh, that's got a balance problem with that tire or a load force problem with that tire.
Yeah, I just the way he was saying that it was under acceleration. Initially, I was wondering about like a CV axle or something. But again, if we put tires on it and now we got a vibration, like that's definitely where you would kind of want to go to start. Like looking at something that has the batteries going dead on it or a draw in it. You typically always look at kind of aftermarket stuff first of what's been added to the vehicle as a source of the draw to begin with, for sure.
Let's say those tires are balanced, and the next thing I'm going to promise you, we're going to find out one of them's got a load force problem, or how we explain that to you, everybody, is, back in my day when I started balancing tires, we had a little tripod, a bevel balancer, and we set the tire on there, and it had a bubble in the center, and then you'd center that bubble in there and put weights around it and everything else, and so you finally got it balanced. Then we went to spin balance the tires on the car and found out that wasn't good. So then we got the machines we have today, and then we went into the load force.
Yeah.
That's where we actually put the tire in the machine and mount up, and it puts 700 pounds of pressure on that tire and measures it under a load and finds out if there's a weak point or a soft point in that tire. So tire balancing has developed quite a bit over the years.
That it has, I can tell you, I remember that equipment first coming out or first being introduced or whatever. And, I think the manufacturers have gotten obviously a lot better at producing a quality tire, knowing that that equipment is out there and that it's going to be checked and stuff like that. But, when it first come out, I can easily remember going through, you put on set 4 tires and having to get 3 additional ones just to get a good set of 4 tires because
Well, where I first ran into the problem was my own self. Very first was, I don't know if you remember that red Tahoe I bought. It was a 98 Tahoe.
Yeah.
I put some aftermarket wheels on it and kept the stock tires, and I couldn't get that thing to not vibrate for nothing. And we even went as far as putting the equal in the tires, trying to get that to do it, and that didn't stop it or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we went and finally got the load force balancer in there, and I think we went through 12 tires before we got a set that would balance right on that Tahoe for me.
Yeah.
And then it just evolved into all the rest of places from that part. So kind of crazy how we've developed wheel balancing and everything else too. So,
well, and again, this kind of goes back to the beginning of the conversation that we talked about as far as different shops and places to go. So not only as employees, but consumers. And I'm not sure, we didn't ask, but where he got his tires put on, but does that place even have that type of equipment to be able to get to load force those tires to figure out if that's could be a potential cause? Now, I hope that there's not a installer out there anywhere that does not have that equipment, because I mean, that's at this point is pretty standard operating, right? But as a consumer going to a place like that, you don't know the difference, right? On what they have and what type of equipment they have. And what do you
tell you, Josh, I agree with you. It's probably standard equipment. I'm thinking there's a lot of shops out there today can't afford to pay that kind of money for those balancers. Hey, we got James Furman on the phone here too.
Oh,
so let's
falling asleep.
Yeah, I get it. Let's get James back. But again, that goes back in to find the quality shop and everything that you have to take care of you. But there is a lot of shops that don't have the tools or have the revenue or dollars behind them to be able to have that equipment.
And I think in that case, okay, this tire vibration, if they don't have the equipment to do that, they're saying they're balanced, which they could be balanced, right? But
balance an egg.
Yeah.
But if you go down the highway, it's going to vibrate.
And so, they're just unable to fix address.
They're
his
doing
concern.
The best they can with equipment they have, but it's not fixing the problem.
Yeah, correct. Okay, let's go to the phones. Talk to James. James, good morning. You're on live with Under the Hood.
Hey guys.
Good morning, James.
Morning. So
My van, when I hit the push to start, has been kind of delayed in actually starting. I'll hit it and it'll take maybe a few seconds to actually figure out that I actually pushed the button.
What is your van again? I can't remember what it is, James.
It's a 2012 Chrysler Town & Country.
And how much, when you say delay, do you mean like a delay in when you push the button to when it starts cranking, or a delay as in you push the button, it cranks, and then it delays to start?
When I push the button, it delays to do anything.
But then if you just hold the button, it'll eventually start cranking.
No, after a couple seconds, then it'll finally start up. But there's no cranking while it's trying to do anything. It just doesn't seem like it recognized that I pushed a button right then and there.
And it's you don't do anything other than just wait and it'll start cranking?
Yeah.
Okay. And one more time, what kind of van was it?
It's a 2012 Chrysler Town & Country.
Yeah. The push to start button on that thing, I'm trying to remember. So in Chrysler, there was a couple of years. Do you have a physical key for that thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's the fob kind of keep it thing.
Correct. So I think that push to start button will actually pull out. Is it kind of like a disc that protrudes out just a little bit? I think that push to start. I think that push to
come out.
Start button will come out, and then you can physically put your key in there. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I would wonder, essentially, that's like there's a security handshake that takes place with that vehicle when you hit that button, and I wonder if there's a delay in that. And so what I would wonder is if we, instead of using the push to start button, if you physically use the key and see if that delay stopped or went away. If it does, then that would tell me that there's probably something going on with that, the push to start button itself. And then if it doesn't, then I would say it's going to be more some sort of communication or programming type issue with it. But again, happy to look at that as well. But based on history that I know of, I'm probably going to say that there's something going on with that button itself, would be my guess.
Okay.
And so happy to add a diagnostic onto your package and take a look at the thing. I would definitely try that key sooner rather than later, because, if it's a security access deal, like potentially, I suppose it could
quit completely.
Yeah, quit completely, and then it would just kind of leave you wherever. And so, I would try that key and see if that gets rid of that delay. And if it does, then then you'd be okay. And if not, then it's something probably needs to be addressed sooner rather than later. So, okay,
all righty,
perfect.
All right, James, try that.
Awesome.
Get
Thanks,
back
guys.
to us and let us know what we got, buddy. Okay.
All right.
Have a good day.
James.
Thanks.
Hey, you too.
All right, 316-462-3673. Let's get the phones ringing. Got some great calls ready here this morning. Let's take some more calls and give away the package value at over $205 for just calling in on the show.
Just like that.
Just like that. So, anyway, we were talking about the students come through. We were talking about tire balancing. What else you have up your sleeve?
So next thing on my list that I wanted to talk about was I read an article the other day, and so it was in one of the automotive magazines or whatever, but they were talking about a videoed multi-point inspection and what the importance of that was. And it really pointed out a couple things that you always think of, but you never really think of, I guess. And where I'm headed with that is, I think when a consumer comes in today, there is a potential of them being more educated or have more information than potentially in the past or than,
well, I'll go
than
into this. I think
historically.
I know where you're going. It's everybody wants to go figure out what's wrong with their car, and that Google's telling them what's wrong with their car, and they think they've diagnosed their
Yeah.
car.
Yeah. 100%. And so where I'm headed with that is because of the internet and people looking things up and getting opinions on chats or discussion boards and things like that. I think a lot of people come in with a predeceived notion as what is going on with their vehicle.
Yep.
And so now when you come back with a response to whatever is wrong with it, and it doesn't agree with what they've already decided that's wrong with their vehicle, then it plants doubt, right?
Yeah.
And so I think, and that's what essentially what they're saying is, these videos help bridge that gap to be able to explain to a customer that they can see kind of firsthand where, how you came up with the resolution of what you're saying is going on with it for sure.
Well, and I'll give you another one. I had a video. Of course, I watch a lot of different things and try to stay up as much as I can. But it's basically a tech and a shop owner was explaining coming in and getting your car diagnosed with a check engine light.
Mm-hmm.
And the customer was basically saying, I can't believe you charged this much because all you do is plug it in and tell me what's wrong with it. Well, it's not that easy. So they broke it down about how much the scanners cost. Here's $2,000 or $3,000 for the proper scanner to read the codes correctly. And then as you plug it in, then it gives you the code, but then he actually printed out the trouble tree of probably 13 pages
of different tests,
things you got to run
Yeah.
through to really diagnose the thing out correctly. And then basically even showing how to hook the computer up, and basically told the consumer, here, would you like to hook this up? Do you know how to do it? I have no clue. So the training and everything. And then he went into, talking about the knowledge that a technician has, how long it takes to diagnose something versus some other guys, how long it takes to diagnose something. And he says, we've learned over and more experienced tech is going to be able to do jobs much faster, much smoother, much easier because just the knowledge that he's got.
Yeah.
Which, in my opinion, that's what helps our shop so much is we got so many guys in here that see so many cars and stuff that we can communicate between each other and help each other diagnose cars so much better and stuff too. But it made more sense that consumers can just go out and Google and think that's what's wrong with it. And I run into it all the time, Josh. The guy, I just Googled it. It says it's going to be this. I said, well, if you believe everything on Google, good for you, because I don't.
Yeah.
Now, has Google got a lot of good stuff? I agree, they do. They can get you. I think Google can get you guided in the right way, but there's no way Google's ever going to diagnose a car. Can't happen. It can get close and maybe get lucky and think, oh yeah, all these other cars had this exact same problem, and it's what it took to fix it.
And give you odds of probability, right?
Yeah.
It's essentially numbers. it's a binary code that it's giving you that
And
answer
James,
with.
and Google AI is not your friend in helping to diagnose your vehicle, folks. It's not. It's. I mean, AI. I love AI. I love where AI is going. I love what it's doing. But it's not. And they talk about it's replacing all these jobs and stuff like that. I think it enhances people's jobs.
Yeah.
It's like our salespeople. Oh, there's going to eliminate salespeople. Last time I checked, AI is not going to be able to take a test drive with you. AI is not going to be able to sit down and build all the paperwork and everything else for you. It's just going to help you enhance your job. If you go in it with an open mind about what AI can help you, I think it'd be the right way. But you let it run your life, I think you're in trouble.
Yeah.
From that part.
Would agree with that as well. And then, this kind of ties into when we were taking the tour yesterday and the instructor asked, I don't remember how he worded the question, but essentially is like, what makes a technician successful, or what's a requirement or what do you look for in hiring techs? It was something along those lines. And then, we went through having a driver's license.
Oh,
and, essentially got down to driving motivation was one of the things too. And then, the more I got to thinking about that, and I really think what makes a technician go from good to great is when they want to know why. And I guess where I'm headed with that is because all day long you can figure out what part is broke on a car, replace that part, but it's the desire to want to know why it broke or how it broke or just how it worked properly. And I think that's where, when you go to when you go to Google or you go to some of these online sources to, okay, my car's doing this, what's wrong with it? Well, this, and then you get the response of, this is what's wrong with it. Well, why is that broke? Or, they don't really give you a good description behind what the reasoning is for those components. And I think that's
Yeah.
that's huge. I mean, I think of years ago, you would repair stuff, you would rebuild stuff, you would,
I don't do that anymore.
and
That's
you
why I try
just
to-
don't do that.
So I told those techs, back in my day, granted, techs get dirty, but I was greasy, grimy, overhauling motors and valve jobs and transmissions and starters and that kind of stuff. You don't do that today.
But I think the why process is more in line with the diagnosis process, as opposed to, this is what's wrong with it, put this part on it, right? Like, I think there's a lot of people that can change a part.
You can get lucky by putting the part on and fixing the car.
Correct.
Get lucky.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I'm still I think it popped in my head, Josh. This is clear back in 1985 at Grand Am's. This is a V6, and I don't remember I think it was an SE, but it was a loaded up one. Kept coming in with a code 32, which is an EGR valve code. And I messed with that thing, I hung every possible part. I went through that trouble tree, trying to figure every scenario and everything out on that thing. And finally figured out what was wrong with it. There was a 3-wire connector that went into the solenoid of that EGR valve, and one of those pins had just a little bit of a looseness to it. Wasn't in there securely tight, and that pin would come back out and turn that light on. Now, I don't care what you say, Google's not fixing that one for you. There's no way. And that was back in 1985. So think about today with all the 4-digit codes, all the modules, all the computers, all the stuff that's going on. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I think that Google's going to fix your car. I get it. Go Google it. Go see what you got to get you some kind of an idea or whatever. And you might get lucky that when Google tells you that's what it is, it might fix it. It's very possible. But not every time is it going to be that way.
Yeah.
Can't happen.
Definitely agree with that for sure.
So anyway, Google up, see what you got. So back to the videos. I love the video. We've been doing the videos for several years here.
Yeah.
I think it just, you're right. It bridges the gap of the character integrity of the technician and the shop and us, and to be able to show the customer and the consumer, hey, here is what's going on with your car. And here's our proof of why we did what we did. Are we human going to make mistakes? Heck yeah, we make mistakes from that part. Everybody, if you're not making mistakes, you're not growing, you're not getting better. But I just think that video thing is a great thing to show the credibility and the honesty and everything else that we're doing there, because again, like you talked earlier in the show, the black eyes at the end of the automobile repair world has, just because of shops abusing it. It's kind of like right now we got this new car pricing going on with the FTC. You got 97 dealers got letters because they're out there pricing stuff wrong, and it puts a black eye over all of us dealers. And not all of us dealers are that way. You got me going on a whole nother
well, no,
too.
you're right down the down the path
and
for sure.
That disruptive pricing, I fight it with dealers around me that I have to compete with and stuff. And they put rebates out there that they don't have.
That aren't available for it.
Yeah. And the other thing that's happened is these dealers are putting packages on these cars without disclosing it. Like we have window tint. I think everybody needs window tint on their cars to help do that. And then we got the door edges and the paint protection cups on the door handles to protect the paint. They're good value products that we have on our cars that most people want and have anyway. So that's why we do that. But we're disclosing that on our website. Some dealers
are showing it right there. Yeah.
Or the one I love too. Oh, if you finance with us, we'll give you another $1,000. Well, guess what they just did there to you? All they did is raise your interest rate up to cover that $1,000. Or we'll give you another $1,000 if you trade something with it. Well, guess what you just did there? They just took your trade back $1,000. So that deceptive pricing out there is no different than deceptive auto repair business. But I also think some of the technicians out there, Josh, think they're diagnosing something correctly and are doing the right thing, but really isn't right because they haven't been trained. I don't think they meant to do it. But again, there's been some stuff out there. I remember years ago, 60 Minutes, going out to these shops and seeing all the deceptive things they were doing. And it gives all of us a black eye for that. It sucks when we're trying to do it right with the right character integrity and that sort of thing, and giving the consumer the right value and the right problems and the right things. And then somebody goes out there and does something wrong, and then you're put in that same basket with that person.
Yeah, definitely agree with that as well. And that's where when talking, but to really staff here, I think a lot of our struggles are honestly in when there's a breakdown of some sort, right? It typically comes down to communication, and then a lot of times just our size sometimes I think gets in our own way. And we've got people that are here and they want to do the right thing and be that person, and then again just gets because of the volume and size and number of employees, it's sometimes hard to transfer that information to everybody. And then also too, just as a consumer, I think you're approaching a business about something, but not everybody in even on the service drive knows everything about every vehicle.
Yeah.
Like it's just, you just can't. And so you got to find your person. And where I guess I'm at with that is I think it's, to a consumer, I think you get way more value out of having a relationship with individual or a business specifically and continuing to do business with that place. So where I guess I'm headed with that is, I'll give you a couple of examples in regards to, somebody purchasing a vehicle and then just taking it to, let's say they use whatever place is convenient when it's time for maintenance or time for a repair. And one day it may be this shop, the other day it may be that shop, here or there. But there's value in one, having that working relationship with, say, a service advisor or service consultant, so that you guys know each other and then there's a rapport there, so we can help you out of your situation whenever you're in it. But then also, I think of service history, having all the service history here. And when we have that information, now granted, if it's a warranty repair, we're able to see
All the repairs there.
all the repairs, no matter where it's at. But to be able to have the service history on that vehicle and know what it needs or what's been done, or that type of information, or even in a repair, going again back to the facilities with maybe aren't doing things quite right. If somebody just writes a story up and that's really not what they did, like that's not going to help you down the road further. And then now with the expense of some of these vehicles, and the bumper to bumper warranty, 3 years, 36,000 miles, right? The way we drive anymore, you can have 36,000 miles on in no time. I've got a gentleman we sold a truck to a year ago, and he's got 45,000 miles on it. And I'm thinking, good night. But anyways,
not shut off very much. Is it?
Yeah, not shut off. And but where I was headed with that, having an issue with the vehicle, and it's like, okay, well, like, because he's bought it from us, he's serviced with us, we've got the rapport, like I'm able to go to Ford and say, hey, there's extra programs out there for that consumer that are available to him. And again, it's not that I wouldn't help a customer that I didn't know or wasn't serviced with us daily, but I don't know what their needs are. I don't know what their problem is. I don't know,
Yeah.
and so having that relationship, and that's where I guess I always try to talk with these advisors. And like, if you're helping a customer, you want to help them for the life. You don't want to help them for today's visit. You want to protect what their best interest is and take care of that person long term. And so that you're in their mobile phone, and when they have a car problem, they pick up the phone and call you. You're their guy.
Yeah.
Right.
These phones have made us to where we're, I still go back to, I used to carry a notebook around and write down all the people I need to call back and do different things. And now it's all done right here in the phone. And the phones are 24/7 now from that situation. And when a consumer needs help, they're looking for you to get help, and they're going to call you. If you don't answer, you've lost that relationship very quickly, very fast from that part. But that's what these phones have done to us. But you're right, building that relationship with the right service advisor, the right tech, all that kind of stuff is huge on doing that. And it's going back into my head. Last week Scotty and I were talking about the multi-point inspection and how crucial that is today. We were doing them years ago, and I remember consumers, when at first we really started pushing them. I don't want it. Don't do it. Don't do it. All I'm here is for an oil change. That's it. Don't sell me nothing else. Well, now today, I think the consumers realize, hey, you know what? I do need that multi-point inspection. I do need to see how my tires are doing. I do need to see how my brakes are doing. I need to see what's going on with that, with my car, and build, like you talked about, Josh, build that history. And like Scotty talked about, build it as you're watching that tire wear down, you can plan for that tire. It's like I keep telling you all the time, I only want 4 tires in this car, Josh, not 8. That's how expensive these things are. And trying to budget for that is sometimes hard, but if you know when it's going to be close or whatever, it's so you're ready to go. Same with brakes. Brakes used to be $50, $100 per axle. Now we're $300 and $400, $500
Yeah.
bucks. Not easy to plan for that sometimes.
Well, I think too, even from a sales side, right? Okay, so you bought a new car, or new to you car, whatever, you've serviced it, maintained it throughout this life cycle. Okay, now it's time to trade or go back into something else. And from the sales perspective, I mean, you would much rather have a vehicle that came, in
Oh.
through our shop and has been worked on here and everything like that than because right?
I'm
Like,
looking at the next person going to buy the car.
mhm.
I can't tell you how many times we go back and the customers want to see what we did during the used car inspection and come back and get a copy of the repair order, or want to see if we serviced it before to make a difference. I mean, it would make a difference to me if I could see that service history and stuff too, done at the same place.
But there's certainly value in that for you.
Oh, 100%.
For that vehicle now, because what it's been through and what the service intervals were like and stuff.
Yep. So anyway, let us help you build your relationship with one of our service advisors, one of our techs, or several, whatever it might be, and build a plan for you for your maintenance. Build a plan for your car. It's no different than going to the doctor. He's going to give you a plan and everything else that you need to do. Let's do the same thing for your car, and that's what we are here to do, is help build it. Everybody's driving habits are different. The only thing Josh and I have in common is when our right foot goes down, it's on the floor. That's it. Everything else is crazy for that part. So just build a relationship with one of our guys. Let us help sit down with you and build the right thing for your driving habits. I mean, whether you're driving a Super Duty or F-150, whether you're pulling or not pulling. I mean, a lot of people just drive an F-150 to drive it. Then you got the guys that have an F-150 pulling 7,000 pounds every other day with it. So all that changes on what we do and how we do it. We're getting kind of shaky there, Josh. I think that's really live or not.
Yeah, I think we are. Yeah. You're just stuttering.
Is that what it is? Anyway, Jeff Dana, best customer service ever, not just local. I buy and live out of state, but you guys still answer help with all needed. Well, Jeff, thank you for that. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And don't care where you live, what you're at. We're here to help you, take care of you, and all that kind of stuff, and just build a relationship with those people. And it's just kind of like the other day, I sold a guy another truck, and I don't know, it's probably, but I got several people that I've sold vehicles to for over the years. I've never met them. Never met them. Do everything over the phone. I've got a guy down in Texas buys a Raptor every year. I got a guy here local that buys an F-150 every year, and we just do everything over the phone. I talk to him all the time on the phone, and I deliver it to his office, all that kind of stuff, back and forth. We sign for service. He calls, texts me, says I need service. We go pick it up at his office. I can talk to him on the phone and text him and all that kind of stuff, but never met him.
This is totally out of the car business, but kind of on topic a little bit. And I don't know. I got a question if it's just me or not, but you have a rapport relationship with somebody like that you've worked with, over and over. And then I for whatever reason get, I don't want to say a mental image or something in my head, but then you physically meet somebody and it's like, I was not expecting that.
Well, okay.
I mean, on
Okay.
both
I
ends of
got
the
one.
spectrum, but
This just happened to me the other day. Is I've got a
so it's not just me, I guess, is what
No.
I'm asking. Okay.
No,
All right.
so I have a relationship with the Walzer group out there, because they got the high end cars, and
Yeah.
we've got the Fords and that kind of thing, and we work back and forth with trades. And one of their buyers is named Josh. Imagine that, huh?
Okay. So he's already a good guy.
Oh yeah, I get it. But anyway, so I can't tell you how many cars Josh and I have bid together, helped each other with, bought back and forth, traded back and forth, car that I know I can't sell here, a high-end BMW or Audi or something like that. He'll take and purchase it from me, get buy bids. They do the same thing for us. If they got an F-150 or something, from that standpoint too, or they just need to help on a bid, understand what something's worth to get that part. Communicate so well. Been doing this for several years. So anyway, I'm standing at the auction here 2 weeks ago, getting ready to sell cars, and this guy walks up and goes, "Hey, I'm Josh." And I started listening to that voice. All of a sudden I realized it's him. I hadn't first time I'd seen this guy.
Yeah.
And you're right. It didn't look nothing like he sounded on the phone. Absolutely nothing. And I told him that too. I said, your voice doesn't match your looks. He said, "Hope that's not a bad thing." I don't know, it's not. So yeah, it's kind of crazy the relationships you build in this industry.
And I would say and again, now headed in a different direction, but you're advertised as seen on TV. You've got that that downfall going just a little bit because you're out there. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's out there, all right. Yeah, you're right. So hey, anyway, I think we're running out of time,
Yeah.
Josh. Time's been fun and fast, everything around here and everything else too. So thanks everybody listening. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back again next Saturday. I won't be here unless are you going to be here?
I'll be here. Yeah,
be
I got this.
Anyway, been rained out the last couple
Yeah,
weekends.
you
with
got to
Team 3J.
you got to get some races under you.
So we are headed to Dodge City this afternoon to go practice a little bit. But man, I don't know. The weather's not looking good out there all of a sudden too. So hopefully we can get out there and run a few practice laps. But then again, next weekend will be a 2-day deal out at Dodge City Raceway Park. So a lot of racing going on there too. I should have checked to see if 81 Speedway is racing, but I bet they are. From that part, not sure. But so anyway, headed out there to Dodge City this afternoon. But next weekend I won't be here because I'll be in Dodge City for Friday and Saturday racing the late model. Should be fun. So everybody, hey, have a great Saturday. Stay warm because it is hot out there. Drink a lot of fluids. Use some sunscreen, right?
Yeah.
Whatever it might be. Everybody have a great Saturday. We'll talk to you next Saturday at 9 o'clock.